the emotions and the feelings that we label as negative, that's the hell of our being. Our systems know that without pain, because when you're happy, you don't sit to interrogate your happiness. But when there's pain,
forces you to go within.
You have to pay attention.
Forces you to go within, yes.
So nowadays, my relationship with pain has changed so much. I see it again as the messenger.
Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to the Art of Being, a sacred space where we dive into spirituality, healing, manifestation, and all the magic of becoming.
We explore what it means to truly live, to grow, to heal, and to be in this ever-evolving dance between our humanness and our higher selves.
I am Bamzi, a mindset and manifestation coach.
And I'm Joy, a wellness coach. We're so glad you're here. Take a deep breath, settle in, and let's journey together.
Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome back to the Art of Being podcast. My guest today is a trauma-informed medicine woman. She practices somatic healing, she practices energy healing, she has a lot of modalities that she implements in her own practice, and she's so embodied in her practice, and she's a resource for a lot of us. She shares her practices and her knowledge on X, and recently she started sharing on TikTok, and I've actually followed her journey for quite a while now, and she was a resource for me in the past. And when I met her, I could feel how grounded she is, because that is her daily life. She lives, she embodies what she teaches. She embodies what she uses with her clients, and you can tell, right? So in this episode, we talk about healing, and specifically holding the dark parts of you with love and compassion, right? Shadow work, right? Because there's a lot of us who are scared to look internally. There's a lot of us who are scared to take those parts of us from the unconscious. And what happens is that we react, right? We show up as not the best version of ourselves, and we beat up ourselves. So what we talk about is how can you start to bring all of these parts of you into consciousness so that you can, shine a light on them, so that they're not driving you. Rather, you're able to act as the best version of you. You're able to hold yourself with compassion and love, right? So if this is something you've been working through, or it's something you're curious about, this is an episode for you. We started with the grounding practice because she is Nyambura. I did not expect that, but I actually really needed it. And we finished with grounding as well. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you want to work with Nyambura, I have put her information in the description box. You can reach out to her so you can work with her, and she can help you in your healing journey. Without further ado, enjoy my conversation with Nyambura. Thank you so much for coming to the Art of Being.
Karibu.
Thank you, Nyambura. How are you doing?
I'm great.
Yeah.
But maybe I like when I enter into a new space.
Okay.
I like to transition.
Okay.
By first arriving.
Okay.
Into the space.
Okay.
So maybe we are going to arrive together.
Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. Like, this is what I expect from you, from someone like you.
And even though my feet can't touch the floor, I think as long as my bum is feeling supported. So I would just invite you to feel your feet on the ground.
Should I take off my shoes? Like for a second, maybe?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, let's arrive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just feel your feet on the ground. And then I like to begin with something known as interoception, which is perceiving your inner world. So I invite you to just take a moment to look within and see, what are you arriving with? Any thoughts, ideas, feelings, sensations? Let's just honor what we are arriving with.
Yeah. You can feel some stirring around here.
Yeah, is it okay just to notice that for a moment, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is how you're arriving. And noticing your breath. Yeah. Your physiology. How is your body functioning? Maybe the temperature on your skin. The sensation of having clothes. The texture of the clothes touching you. And now that we know how we are feeling on the inside, maybe we can bring attention to our external world, which is known as exteroception. Yeah? So we are going to do something known, and you're already doing it, your system knows, known as orientation, which is simply to orient your body to the space that you're existing in. So noticing the plants with curiosity, the colors, the shapes, the sounds, that humming sound, informing your nervous system that it is indeed safe for you to be here now. And also notice, is there anything you're particularly drawn to in the space? I'd like to hear if you can share.
I'm drawn to the colors.
To the color.
Yeah.
Is there a specific color that you feel drawn to?
The lime green, because your show is matching the chairs, and it's like a lime green day.
Yeah.
I'm the one who didn't get the memo, but you did get the memo. It's like you tuned into to the
that's
studio.
That's how intelligent our systems are.
Yeah.
So, quick question. As you're looking at this color, try and notice what happens in your body when you connect with this color. Is there Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
My solar plexus is responding to
Yes.
Yeah.
And is it possible for you to expand on that sensation, describe it further? Does it have a shape? Does it have a texture? What's the behavior of it?
It's like a pulsating sensation. Yeah. It's just like a response to, it's the same thing. Like whenever I connect to my breath, that's what happens.
Yeah.
And it's something that has been, I want to say like in the last year or year and a half, that started to happen, because before that I was disconnected. In fact, from all of my chakras, all of them, like from the root, from the sacral, solar, everything was disconnected. And as I have connected to myself in the last couple of years, I like whenever I get in touch with my breath, I definitely feel it here. Yeah.
Good for you. Yeah. It takes a lot of people a lot of time to get there. So maybe just take a moment to thank your body for having the ability to communicate with you. Good job. Yeah. And also thank yourself for being able to receive this information.
Thank you so much. I really needed this.
And that's how we arrive.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I can put my feet up.
Yeah.
Now that we are here and we are together.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I was activated. You didn't know this, but I don't know if you picked up on it, or it's just something you do to arrive, like you said. But it's like my higher self knew that I needed this, because I, saw a text before you came, and something that I saw, activated me a little bit. In fact, I had to go to the bathroom and like tap a little bit to just be like, okay, I'm safe.
Yeah.
Just to bring myself back to my body. And you know, sometimes you have to do it for like a while in order for you to ground yourself. But I think like your addition to making us arrive like has added to like my calmness, the calmness of my nervous system.
That is the same exact experience I'm having. And it's great that you noticed that when you're doing it alone, it's different from when you're doing it with someone, because our nervous systems are always looking to connect. So while it's great to do work by yourself, when you do it with someone else, the work becomes easier.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah.
And what we just did is like building a safe container for the both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, thank
and
you
for
so
the people
much.
watching as well. Yeah.
If you're watching and, you know, you saw some of the things that we did and maybe you're by yourself or you're with somebody, maybe that's something that you can try with yourself.
Yeah.
To orient yourself to your body and also to your surroundings. It's definitely a practice that I've been trying to do in the last couple of years. Every single time, like, I just feel like I'm not, you know, because you feel activated, but what we tend to do is just ignore and continue, find something distracting. And so having a practice that brings you back, I think is so important.
And you know, when we ignore things, because our bodies are in constant conversation with us, even when we are not listening.
Absolutely.
And our bodies are not scared to double text. You know how you text someone and you're too proud to send another text? Your body will keep trying to communicate with you, whether you're listening or not. And the more you don't listen, the louder
Absolutely.
your body becomes.
Absolutely.
So it is easier to develop a practice of presence because when you sit with something, you give it safe passage through your body. Whether it's an emotion or a sensation, it's arriving in your body to inform you of something. So once you receive the information, there's no need for the feeling, the emotion, the sensation to stay in your body. You've given it safe passage. But the more you ignore and you distract yourself and you doom scroll or you find an activity or you become a workaholic, your body will keep becoming louder and louder until you hear.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's been my experience. But I find it that, as I was saying, like when I was disconnected, I never used to notice the double texting or even the first text. Because if you're not connected, it means you're not listening, first of all, right? Which means like you're not going to see that text. You're not going to see the next one. But lately, as I've reconnected with myself, like Saturday, I went to an event and I noticed that after the event, I was activated because there were parts of me coming. There were like, you know, parts of me like shame and fear and all of these parts of me being activated. So, and I noticed the first time I noticed, I just ignored. Like I know that something's there, but I ignored. But I was like, okay, you know what? Let me finish this show, and then after that, let me just finish this episode, and then after that, I'll sit with myself. Because sometimes I do that. Sometimes I'm like, okay, I notice you, but I'll come to you. But what I'm trying to say is that I cannot operate the same way that I used to operate. I cannot ignore. So even if like I can't attend to that part of me in the moment, I know that I have to attend to myself. So I finished my show and then I attended to myself and I sat with myself and listened to what it was trying to tell me for a while. And after that, I was, like you said, it passes, right? With your presence and love and compassion and awareness, it passes through.
And I love that your solar plexus is so alive and well, because what you've described is what personal power is.
Yes.
And sovereignty.
Yes.
And agency and
Yes.
autonomy,
Yes.
which that is my thing in life. Because you have the power, despite the fact that your body is in constant conversation with you, you also have the power to tell your body, look, we can't do this right now. Yes, I've heard, text received, but I'm kind of busy right now, so let's do this later.
Yeah.
The day I discovered that I could do that, that I can be activated right now, but I don't have to break down. I don't have to start crying here because my tears are sacred. Some of my emotions are very private, but it's possible to inform your body. Let's do this later. And your body knows how to wait as long as it's feeling seen.
Right, because you could be in the middle of like people that are working that have 9 to 5s. Maybe you're in a meeting and you get activated, or like you're somewhere where you can't attend to yourself. I think that's when it comes really into play, and it's helpful to see it and let it know that you'll attend to it later.
So good job.
So actually we dived into deep, but it's natural because we started with grounding, right? But I just want to, for like the audience to understand who Nyambura is. So I want to go back to your earliest memories, because you've been spiritual for a really long time, but I want to go back to your earliest memories. Who was Nyambura, and when did you start to get drawn to like searching for like deeper meaning, searching for you to connect to yourself and Mother Earth? Like, when did that journey start? Did it start when you were younger? If you can take us through, growing up, and then to when like you started awakening. I know it's a loaded question, but
I'm smiling because you're not gonna believe this, but I knew by the time I was 9.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
I knew, and it's so funny that you asked me this question. It's a question I love asking people just to see, am I weird to have known at 9? And recently my son told me for him it happened at 5. So at least I know someone with whom it happened at a younger age. So by the time I was around 9, I knew there was something in there and out there. And it's not the thing that I was being told in church. So I was the child who was a problem in church, with the many questions, with the interruptions, and my Sunday school teachers didn't like that. And also I want to be a bit vulnerable and say I grew up in a very chaotic home. Very violent. My dad was an alcoholic, and my mom was super, super violent. And I figure it's because she was also not in a very supportive environment. And this is not to make an excuse for her. It's just, as I've grown up, I'm beginning to understand her more and more. So out of this trauma, the being beaten every day, the being, feeling like my fire was being pushed down. Instead of allowing my fire to be dimmed, my system knew to bring out the fire more. So I was very rebellious. In fact, I like to say I'm a rebel without a cause. I rebel for the sake of rebellion. So by the time I was 9, I had started noticing unhealthy patterns in my family, and not just in my nuclear family, like even in my extended family. I was looking at the adults around me and wondering, are these the people we are leaning on? Like, I could pick out what was wrong in the home and what was wrong in the society. And then my dad was a teacher. Both my parents are teachers. And my dad used to read a lot. And I remember his library at home had all kinds of books because we lived in the village. So my dad would read whatever material came his way. We did not have access to like kina TBC.
Right.
You can just walk into a bookshop and buy books. So my dad used to collect books from wherever. So there were a lot of esoteric books at home. And I was the only reader. Apart from my dad, my mom is not a reader. So we really connected with my dad on some subjects. He's the only person I could tell about aliens, about crystals, about the weird stuff I was encountering in his books. So, and one day I remember he said to me that heaven and hell, it was on a Sunday, and we were going to church. And I was rushing through my routine because I did not want to get late, because I was afraid if I get late for church, I'm going to go to hell. So I told him I'm in a rush because I don't want to be late, because I don't want to go to hell. Then he told me hell is not a place that people go to. Heaven and hell are right here on earth. Actually, they are within you. And to a child of like 8 or 9, it doesn't sink in the moment. But then I went to church, I came back, and for weeks, for months on end, I was obsessing on this thing of what did you mean, heaven? And it's so funny, I never got to ask him. It was just constantly on my mind. And I ruminated on this information for so long. I became obsessed. And that's how I started asking questions in church, asking the adults. But then this is Shags. This is in Kiambu. We are walking barefoot. We don't have a TV. Like, I grew up in an environment where we were very disconnected from the world. So there was no one to share this information with. But I also remember, again, the intelligence of our bodies and our higher selves constantly orchestrating the path before us.
Yes.
Because I also remember we used to live in the same compound with my grandma and with my dad's brother. So we were 3 families in the same compound, like the traditional setup for most Kikuyu homes. And I remember one of my cousins, in his room, he had a calendar he had been given by an Indian person, a calendar with every page had a different Indian god. So there was Kali, and I remember the first time I saw her, my whole body was full of goosebumps.
It was like a somatic response to, like,
a real physical response to the image. And I remember like an image of Ganesh, the elephant god. And I remember like the tusk and the gods with the many hands. I remember seeing these images and having a physical response to these images, but I had no idea who they were. But I remember people debating in the home over why my cousin was keeping that kind of material, and he was a Christian.
Yeah.
But to him, it was just a calendar he had been given. And then around the same time when I was 9, my mom comes from Nakuru. So we used to be shipped off during the school holidays to Nakuru. Again, shags deep in the Bundus. Like from Nakuru town, it's like an hour drive.
What is it called?
Eldama Ravine.
Okay, I've heard of it.
Kampia Moto. You know Kabarak?
Yes.
Right after Kabarak. So we used to be shipped there. And one day, I remember walking into my grandmother's granary, my maternal grandma. It was that kind of setup. There's even a granary. Like after we harvest maize and beans, we have a space to keep them. And I remember walking in there. I don't know what I was looking for. And I find a sliver of a book, like a book without a back or a front, like a very thin sliver of a book. And it was about crystals.
That's so amazing.
And let me tell you, there's no way there's someone in that home who was reading about crystals. And I remember the first crystal I saw is a lapis lazuli. And I remember the book explaining a little bit before each stone. It had diagrams with the colors and then a bit of an explanation. And I remember the first explanation I read is that stones have been here even before humans came along. So stones and crystals are an archive of information of the entire universe because they've always been there. And I remember, I'm 9 when I'm reading this. I remember sitting with that information and feeling the interconnectedness of all life. Because before then, stones to me were things you kick on the road.
Right.
But now I'm beginning to see there could be consciousness in stones. And I remember after, when I went back home, I remember people becoming very concerned because I became very withdrawn.
Right, because now there's a lot that you're questioning and reflecting on, and
My inner world is popping, and my external world is not supporting. And do you know, up to this day, I believe that somehow through my higher self, I sent myself that book, because
I don't
in
doubt
the
it.
moment of reading that book that everything became clear. I like to say that is when I became aware of my spirituality.
Oh my gosh.
Because I do believe everyone is spiritual, but not everyone is conscious of it.
Right.
It's when I was 9, when I read that book, that I became conscious of my spirituality.
Right.
So, and then from there, I went to high school. And because I had all these questions and no external support, I became a very serious and staunch Christian.
Because that was the only path.
Yes,
available to you.
I needed
Right.
it to make sense. So I remember in high school, I was actually a member of the CU.
CU, I was going to say.
Yes. And apart from being a member of the CU, I was in a group with some girls. And we used to be called CASP, Christ's Ambassadors Striving for Perfection. I'm not even 16 at this point. So I went really deep into Christianity. But you get to a point in your journey where whatever is happening inside you cannot be contained
It's
by...
so much larger.
So again, I come back from high school and I have all these questions and nobody to talk to. So I've been diagnosed with depression. I remember I was taken to see Frank Njenga by an auntie of mine.
Who's that? Is that
Yeah, I don't know if
Is
you
that
know
pastor?
Chiromo Group. He's a psychiatrist.
Oh, okay.
He's famous.
Okay.
Yeah, and not for the right things
Right.
sometimes. So I was taken to see him because people assumed I was depressed because I was withdrawn. I wasn't talking to people because I wasn't feeling like there's anyone around me
Who
on
can
the same
understand you.
frequency. And then I stopped going to church. And my mom would not allow me to not go to church as long as I was under her roof. So I started going to church and I would doze. Immediately, I would enjoy the praise and worship because I'm a music type of person. But immediately, a pastor would start preaching, I'd switch off because I'd be having a conversation with him inside my body. Like, why the hell are you saying this?
Yeah, what are you saying
Like,
even?
why is this not making sense? So I would just doze. So eventually my mother told me, as long as you're going to come to church and sleep, it's disrespectful, so stay at home.
Right. Because you're embarrassing her, I'm assuming, to
So I
other
stayed
people
at
as
home
well.
for like a year before now I went to uni. So when I went to uni is when everything opened up for me. I went to the University of Nairobi. So it's a mixture of people from all walks of life, from different backgrounds. And even whatever I studied supported my journey because I went to study sociology. I'm a social scientist. And I remember my first class in uni, I remember the professor saying that religion is the opium of the masses, Karl Marx. And fireworks went off in my...
You were like, clock it.
Clock it. So after that class, like, I felt like I had been freed. But still, it's very hard when you've grown up in religion to just
Disconnect completely.
Yeah, walk out of it.
Yes.
So I walked out of Christianity and walked into Islam. Because it felt for me like Christianity was the problem. So maybe if I try something else, maybe.
Right. Maybe I'll get the answers that I'm looking for. Yeah.
So I became a Muslim, and a very serious one. I used to go to Jamia Mosque for madrasa.
Wow.
I learned Arabic because I wanted to receive the Quran in its original form.
Right.
So I can read. I have a Quran and I can read it in Arabic. So for 5 years, I was a Muslim.
Wow.
And then along the way, and I am so glad I went on my Islam journey because it's where I developed discipline.
Right.
I used to pray 5 times a day.
Right.
My spiritual practice is so firm because I became a Muslim.
Of the discipline.
Because Christianity is very
church on Sunday.
Wishy-washy.
Yeah.
You don't even have
during the
to
week,
go.
there's nothing you're doing, and then on Sunday you go to church.
Islam is a way of life. It permeates everything you do. It dictates how you go to the toilet. It dictates how you eat. It dictates how you talk to people. Like, it's interwoven into every facet of your life.
Yeah.
So I developed that praying 5 times a day, fasting for Ramadan for a whole month. I developed a lot of my solar plexus came alive. I developed discipline and personal power because in Islam, you're not depending on someone once a week to come and give you the gospel. You have to do your own work. You have to become a proper Muslim is to develop your own practice. But after 5 years, again, I felt like I had outgrown the mold of this religion.
Maybe the way that I'm thinking about it, and sorry to interrupt you, Jody, but it's like we're always being led, like you were saying, like your higher self is always guiding you, whether you want to believe it or not. Like some of the things you encountered, it was like a path for you. So maybe Islam was like a way for you to establish that discipline. Like it was there for a reason. Every single thing that happens to you happens because it needed to happen.
Yes.
And so you needed that for you to establish this discipline that you have that
Which
has
is
made you who you are now.
I always say I am a big believer of I am exactly where I am meant to be.
Absolutely.
Even right now.
Absolutely.
I am and everything is happening for my highest good.
Yes.
Even when I can't see it in the moment. Because in retrospect, every step of my way has been ordained.
Right.
Like it needed to happen exactly the way it
happened.
did.
Yeah. Otherwise, it wouldn't have happened.
So after 5 years, I outgrew. And the thing I've noticed is when I left Christianity, the Christians were holding on to me and threatening me with hell. It was the same thing when I was living Islam. Oh, you will never see heaven. But me, again, I'm a rebel. I rebelled for the sake of rebellion. So I was able to leave and I started practicing Buddhism. And it's around this time that I encountered Reiki. We are talking about between 2010 and 2012. This is when actually, way back in 2005 when I went to uni, I started going to Healthy You. Something was drawing me.
Yes.
Remember, I'm from the village. I've just come to the city. Yet somehow I'm finding myself in Sarit once a week. I don't even know how I was getting to Sarit. But I had a friend of mine and we'd save our lunch money during the week. And then once a week we'd go and buy crystals at Healthy You. So already I was familiar with chakras, meditation, but I wasn't really practicing. I was a bit conflicted.
You were flirting with it.
I was flirting with it because people are saying yoga is demonic. And I'm still, even though I've left religion, I still have that blueprint within me, that programming. So I'm still a bit scared. I'm going to go to hell.
Absolutely.
You know, that religious trauma is still within me. So I'm flirting with things, but at the end of the day, I'm pulling back into my shell. Like, yes, I meditated today, but it felt good, but we'll see next time. So in 2012, when I went to school to learn about Reiki, I feel that is when I really stepped into who I am today. So out of Buddhism, Reiki grew. I would say for a lot of people, I feel for a lot of people, when they get out of religion, they always head east. I don't know if that's been
that's what I've seen as well. Yeah.
A lot of people go to there. So I went to the east first. And then, and even physically, because at some point I moved to Dubai. And then I was inching closer and closer. Then now I moved to China and like really deepened my practice. And then I came back home. And while I've been home, I've also gone south because some of my practices are from the south of this continent. I've been initiated as a Gobela. So I was initiated in the altars of the south.
When you say south, do you mean like Southern Africa?
Yes.
Like
my
South
Sangoma.
Africa, Botswana, all of that region.
I have a Sangoma in Namibia.
Wow.
So he led me through my initiation into Gobelahood.
Okay.
And a Gobela is simply someone who holds space, for the Sangomas.
Right.
I am meant to be a guide and a teacher. I am meant to be to hold space for the gifted people in the society, and also for the people who live in the fringes of the society, the queer people, the people who've been othered, the underdogs, the people who cannot fight for themselves. So I was initiated in the South for that. And then after my initiation, I went north.
Okay.
And it's so funny, again, my higher self has orchestrated my journey in that formation, because from the north I encountered, I don't know if you're familiar with runes.
Ruins?
Runes.
No.
Runes. It's a form of divination. I like to think I'm the only Kenyan practitioner who uses runes. It's a form of divination from Scandinavia. It's an alphabet. And I think also the English alphabet was derived from this, from the runic alphabet. Really ancient, like 10,000-year-old alphabet from the Scandinavia, Norway, those cold countries. And I've also initiated in my runic journey.
Right.
So my journey started in the east, then I went south, then I went north, then I came home. Because in my runic journey, I also found out that the Kikuyus have their own alphabet. I've grown up, I am now turning 40, without ever knowing that my people have an alphabet. I only found out because of my curiosity that led me to the north, because this alphabet, it's an alphabet, but it's also a divination. Like every letter holds certain qualities and certain energies.
It makes me think of numerology.
It's kind of like that, but with letters.
Right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
A means something. T means something.
Okay. Because with numerology as well, like the numbers, but then also your name has a vibration.
Yes.
That's what it makes me think.
Yes.
When you're saying that, yeah.
Only during my runic journey, I got an urge. I have is it a calabash? A gourd. I have a tiny gourd at home that I bought somewhere on the roadside. Again, I get urges, and if they're not harmful, I follow them.
Yeah.
So
that's called intuition, following your intuition.
Yes. I felt like I saw a gourd somewhere, I bought it, and during my runic journey, I was etching the runes onto the gourd. And then one day I find a book in my husband's library, about the Kikuyus. It's called Geshade. And the Geshade is like a long Kikuyu poem. We used to have, like, do you know about minstrels? If you watch old English movies, there used to be these guys who used to travel in the countryside singing songs. Epic songs. So the Geshade is like an epic song for the Kikuyu person.
Right.
So these guys would travel, the Muiniwa Geshade, which is the singer of the Geshade, would travel village to village, pre-colonial Kikuyu land, village to village, reciting or singing a poem that, an epic poem that is like an archive of information about the Kikuyu people. So it was a form of archiving our ways and our culture. And the way they used to do it was by etching on a long gourd. In fact, the gourd is what is called the Geshade. They'd etch a story into the gourd. So that, because we are talking about a poem that would probably take a whole day to sing. So, of course, if you're a human, you're going to forget some things. So they would etch tiny symbols so that they would read it as they are playing with it, not to forget. So it was so interesting for me that there was an ancestral urge for me to etch the runes from the north into my calabash, only to find out that my people had this practice.
It makes me think that you know, reincarnation and all of that, like you were remembering. That's what it makes me think.
Yes.
It's not like you're learning. The fact that you did it and then found out later, it was already in you.
Yes.
That's what it makes me feel like. That's so
And that's a
interesting.
big theme in my life. I do something and then I find out, our people used to do this. So I found out we have a Kikuyu alphabet. I think they call it Jano.
Yeah.
Because that act of etching those symbols on the gourd is known as Woshana. So the symbols are known as Jano. So for any Kikuyu person watching this, look into the Kikuyu alphabet. We do have an alphabet. So what was my point?
Your point was just your journey.
In my journey.
Yeah.
So for now, that is where I'm at in my journey. From the divinations I've done with my Sangoma, I'm supposed to head west next. It's the only direction
That you haven't.
that I haven't explored. So, but I'm feeling very called to Peru, to South America.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to Turtle Island.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we'll see.
Oh my gosh, I really love that. It sounds like you just have, explored all of these practices from like all the parts of the world. And I'm wondering like how do you integrate them and make them as part of your practice? Because I feel like sometimes it can be too much, right? Like, and especially when it's like maybe so different.
Yeah.
Then how do you bring it and make it like an integrated practice so that you help people? And how do you use it to help people?
Let me tell you, it's so interesting that you ask me that. I'm a life path number 7.
I knew when you were talking about, in fact, my question was, as you were telling about your journey of like learning, becoming aware of an internal world and an external world when you were 9, I immediately knew. I in my head, I was going to say, like, I'm going to ask you if you're life path 7, but I clocked it.
Yes, I'm
Immediately.
a 7.
Because so far I've talked to, you're the 3rd life path 7 that I'm talking to. And it's like same story as like life path 7. They become aware very young for some reason. It's then whether you choose to engage it or not. But I knew it. And so you're just confirming it because I lately I've been into numerology and I'm like, I clocked it.
Yeah, so we are meant to
Yeah.
seek.
Yes.
So my seeking is not for any purpose.
Right.
I seek for the sake,
sake of it, yeah.
of seeking.
Yes.
Yeah. And for me, there's nowhere I saw someone on TikTok telling me in my comments that whatever I am looking for, I am never going to find, or I haven't found it. I'm not trying to find anything.
That's not the goal.
There's no goal to
There's
it.
no goal,
yeah.
yeah.
For me, the journey is the destination.
Exactly.
There's no end to
Yeah.
I'm going to be 90, still
And still
curious
seeking.
and still seeking.
Yeah.
So as a life path number 7, I came to seek.
Yes.
And also the clan I come from the Gikuyu nation, I'm an Amboi. And the Amboi people were mandated, they were the
Right.
spies of their society. So we were meant to go out there, find information about we were planted in other communities as spies, collect information, and bring it back to enrich our people. And that's the same thing I'm doing, because I have gathered all this information and resources, and I'm back home enriching my people.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and you asked how am I able to integrate all this information into my own practice. I allow myself to expand beyond what I currently know. Be that as it may, I have a very strong relationship with my solar plexus. So I know which information I can digest, because the solar plexus is the digestive part of the energetic system. I trust my solar plexus enough to sieve out which information in this moment I can digest and convert into usable energy for my system. And what do I mean by this? There's information that I've had, or that I had maybe at the age of 10, that I was not using. It's just been hanging around. I came across it. It was not digestible at that point. But now that I'm 40, I'm finding something I read at 10 is beginning to make sense now.
Yeah.
So it's just been lingering.
Yeah.
And I feel my path is to deepen the relationship that I have with myself so much, so that I'm able to hold space
I love that
for the
so
people
much.
looking to deepen their own practices.
I love that so much.
Yeah, because a healer can only meet you as deeply as they've met themselves.
Yes, yes.
So part of my journey is that deepening in order to be able to hold others as they deepen themselves.
Yeah.
So it's so weird that I've never encountered a client, I've not yet met a nervous system that I did not know what to do with. I always have a tool for something when I'm holding space. And sometimes it's a tool I've not even integrated for myself. It's something, again, I saw when I was 15. And then it's presented to me and I have an answer for it. Yeah.
Thank you so much, because that leads me to like what I wanted to ask you. It's something that you wrote on Substack that like brought me to tears.
You read my
because
Substack?
your journey deeply, like I deeply resonate with your journey, like the work that you do to meet yourself and meet the darkest parts of yourself.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of people that are scared of their shadow. They're scared to see like the darker parts of them, not knowing that those parts are the portals for their transformation. Because on the other side of it, I heard recently, I heard that the amount of light you illuminate is dependent on how much darkness you've been able to hold.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So that's one thing that I admire, because that's the work that I've been trying to do within myself, just meet the darker parts of me that I was so scared of before. So I read something that you wrote, and I'm just going to read it here, and then we can talk about that, because I was like, oh my God, this speaks to me so deeply.
Yeah.
And so you were writing about like, I have died many times, and I have come back each time with a tool that saved my life. These were bubbles of oxygen that brought me back each time that I died, and I want to share them with you. And then you say your name, and then you say that I will teach you how to descend to the basement of your existence, to the very foundation of what makes you who you are. And there I would hold space for you as you face the demons of your shadow. Oh my gosh, I love that so much. Can we talk about that?
see what's
'Cause,
happening
yeah,
to my eye.
I'm also
Yeah, yeah.
when you say like the demons of your shadow,
Mm.
because to other people that sounds like, why would I want to go there?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. Like, why would you? Because I'm so teary. Let's talk about like why would you want to go there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So part of the deprogramming that I've been doing is healing my religious trauma. Because in religion, I was taught that demons are sitting somewhere in hell, in the
Yes.
darkness, waiting to punish and to even end me, you know? But through the work that I've done on myself, I've been able to also change the language, or develop a new relationship with the language.
Right.
Yeah?
Yes.
So while in religion, demons are these scary things that live somewhere outside
Yeah, they're
of
like
your
outside of you.
outside of you. And I get that because in religion, there's no responsibility.
Yes.
And this is why
Yes.
people don't want to live religion.
Yes.
There's no accountability. There's no responsibility.
Yes.
You can always blame the devil for cheating. You cheat on your wife and you can
Yes.
say, the devil made me do it.
Yeah, you're powerless.
Yes, the demons
Yeah.
made me do it. So after sitting with myself and developing responsibility and accountability and owning my personal power to create my own reality and to bring my own heaven on earth, I realized I'm a person of liminal spaces. In human design, I don't know if you're familiar.
I know human
Yeah,
design.
in human design, my environment is shores. So I thrive in spaces where one thing meets another.
What are you a projector?
No, I'm a generator. I'm a sacral
I'm a
generator.
manifesting generator.
So I thrive in the edges of society, the melting points of things. Like I discovered living in Dubai and living in Guangzhou, I thrived because different cultures come together to meet there. And even like where I live somewhere where like my living room has these big French doors facing the outside so that it feels like I'm outside when I'm inside. And when I'm outside, I feel
You're
like I'm inside. So the shores is where I live, the edges. So it's impossible for me to just walk on one side, on the light side. I am also able to hold
space for the
darkness. And this is what I believe makes a human being magnetic. Because what's a magnet when you think about a magnet? It's something that contains two unlike poles. But because it's able to contain these unlike energies in the same container, then it attracts things like itself. So when you're authentic, when you're able to hold your darkness and your light, then you become whole and authentic.
Yes.
You're aligned. So everything that is meant for you flows towards you with ease, and people think you're attracting. Well, you're just aligned to everything that's meant for you. So when I changed my relationship with the language of religion, the demons, I discovered that the emotions and the feelings that we label as negative, that's the hell of our being.
Yes.
The things we don't want to deal with, the things we push into the basement, the shame, the guilt, the uncomfortable emotions, the things that we've done that we are not proud of. We just push them into the darkness.
You put it in a box, you lock it.
And then they become our shadows. Yeah? So in that shadow, for me, demons are those uncomfortable feelings and emotions.
Those parts of you that
Those
you don't want
parts
to
of
see.
me, that I don't, and I don't want other people to also see.
Yeah.
So when shadow work for me, when I did my shadow work, and which I continue to do, it's sinking into this basement and being brave enough to bring what is unconscious, because that lives in my unconscious, bringing it to light. And what I discovered with demons, those uncomfortable feelings and emotions, is that they just want love. They just want your attention.
Oh, yeah.
Because again, remember, these emotion, thoughts, feelings, they are messengers. They are informing you. When you're guilty, when you feel guilt, what is guilt here to inform you about? Maybe you did something wrong and you're a human being. If there's something I know how to do for myself, it's to hold myself with compassion. My humanness. I make mistakes. Yeah, but I don't get stuck there. So when I feel guilty, I know, whether it's with my kids or with my husband or with my friends, I have done something I'm not proud of. So guilt is here to inform me that I've done something. And once I allow this guilt to sit in the light with me, then I see what it's trying to communicate, and then it leaves. So I'm not forever held in judgment of this uncomfortable feeling.
Yeah.
So shadow work is you setting yourself free.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that speaks to me so much, because as I was saying earlier, that's what I've been trying to practice like in the last year and a half of seeing those parts of me. Like on Saturday I was telling you about, like I went to an event, and you know when I came back, there were parts of me that were feeling shame, right? So, and at first, of course, like I was saying, I was watching something and I was like, okay, I'll look at you when I'm done. And so sitting with those parts of me and being like, okay, you're allowed to feel shame.
Yeah.
You're allowed. And just sitting in that with just observing the sensation and where I was feeling the shame in my body, and just letting it be, right? It's not bad, it's not good, it's just is. And just holding that space. And then, like you said, it just dissolves.
Yeah.
Right? And that's something that a lot of people don't know. Because, like, you don't want to look at that part of you. You don't want to think of yourself as, all of these things. You would rather just think of yourself as light. And that doesn't make you a whole person, like you were saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is my biggest, I feel like my practice is about this sort of thing, transformation. When I say I teach people how to die so that they can live again. Because when you descend into that place, into your shadow, which we call, and which you said you went through, what the dark night of the soul, you don't come out the same person.
I am so different.
To die.
Yes.
Yeah. And this is why people don't transform. It's scary and it's hard. And nobody wants to not be able to get out of bed in the morning. Because especially there's something known as emotional constipation.
Right.
Which a lot of us have been suffering from.
Yes.
Because when you do not, that place in your shadow, when you do not address those uncomfortable emotions and feelings and thoughts, then they keep piling up. Over the years, they keep piling up. And then you become constipated. And now, every time there's a trigger, when you become activated, you have a very big reaction to something very small.
So small, yeah.
Because there's too much energy sitting in the dark. So every time something enters, and there's a lot of confusion. So sometimes you don't even have the correct response to a certain thing. Yeah. And this used to happen to me a lot, especially in intimate relationships. Like I'd be fighting with someone I'm in a romantic relationship with. And looking back later, I'd be feeling like, like I brought a gun to a knife. I didn't have to go that hard.
You brought an AK-47 too.
I am here to end you. And this is someone that I claim to love. So I discovered I was just constipated.
Right.
So whatever enters into that space comes out with, like the boomerang, comes out with a lot of force. So you have to do a lot of work to loosen up this constipated emotions, so that you start developing clarity. So the work I do, I like to tell people, my clients, the first session, I like to inform them that constipation is like, imagine your body as a bottle of water. Yeah, like this bottle of water. And every time something happens and it's not addressed, it sinks to the bottom, and it's like soil, like you're putting soil. Then it sinks to the bottom. So there's a sense of clarity, but there's a lot of silt at the bottom. So after a session with me usually is like shaking up the bottle for the sediment to come to the surface to be addressed. So my work is to hold space for people as they witness the sediment coming up, and also releasing it, so that clarity develops and you're able now to respond to situations as they come, not with a backlog. You respond to the thing that is currently presenting itself, not from past wounds.
Yeah, because you meet people as you are, not as they are, right? It's based out of your consciousness and how much work you've done to like unclog yourself. Like in my own personal journey, I think, like I was telling you, like I was disconnected for so long. And so what the dark night really helped me is actually, I think, like you were saying, your higher self is always guiding you. I needed to go through the dark night in order for me to unclog myself, because I was so clogged, I was so constipated emotionally. Something used to happen, immediately disconnect. Literally, I wouldn't feel it. Just disconnect.
Freeze.
Yes. And so the dark night, I was isolated. And so what happened is that I was crying every single day.
Purging.
Yes. And that, what I didn't realize at the time, but what happened, what I perceived as very painful was really clearing me, right? And I only realized when I was on the other side. Because I was like, there's so much freedom within. But I didn't know that that's what I needed in order for me to reach to a place where like there's not so much, constipation happening within myself.
And our systems are so if you just learn to respect and pay attention to your system, it's so intelligent. Because I know people are so scared of pain.
Whew! Isn't that my story?
Yes.
Yeah.
And this inner work, you're going to have to confront pain, whether it's situations that you've been through, whether it's spaces that you've been in, you have to face pain. And for me, pain, I find I am such, not a fan, but I am in awe of pain.
Yes.
Because pain, our systems know that without pain, because when you're happy, you don't sit to interrogate your happiness. But when there's pain,
forces you to go within.
You have to pay attention.
Forces you to go within, yes.
So nowadays, my relationship with pain has changed so much. I see it again as the messenger that it is. And pain, even physical pain, sometimes, like my knee has been hurting. I don't know if it's an age thing.
Yeah, there's something.
Yeah, and I sit with it and I tell it, okay, sawa. I have finished doing what I was doing for my day. Now we are doing nothing. I want to feel this pain. And sometimes I'll get like a flashback of something that happened that is causing this pain. So sometimes even the pains we have in our bodies are not a matter of, it's not a medical thing.
Yes, it's a message.
It's a message. It's something, again, when I said that your body has been trying to have a conversation with you forever and you've not been listening, to the point now, pain is the only way that you will pay attention.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people confuse pain and suffering, and I'm speaking from experience, because you think that if you paid attention or like gave yourself a moment for you to feel pain, that would be your state forever. Whereas pain is a temporary, it's an emotion moving through, like if you observe it with love and compassion and be in touch with yourself and like be there for that part of you that's feeling pain. It's gonna move through you. Whereas like suffering is you know
you
it involves the
holding
mind.
on to the experience.
Yes.
Yes.
Involves the mind and the stories you're telling yourself about why that pain is happening. And so for me, when I reached a place where like I was able to understand that these two things are different, that's when I freed myself. Because I was like, okay, I can feel the pain and be there for it without telling a story about that pain. Just let the pain be and then let it pass, right? There's nothing that I'm creating here in my head to explain the pain.
Are you in my somatic experience in class?
No,
Because
I've just gone
you're
through.
speaking like you are.
No, I've just gone through things. Whatever I'm speaking through is something that I've gone through.
Because that is exactly what somatic experiencing is about. Because the mind lies. The stories, if you interrogate the stories we tell ourselves, like, again, I'm a fifth houser. I'm a Scorpio stellium in the fifth house.
I'm a Scorpio moon. So, yeah. Moon.
I see. So, a lot of my transformation has happened within romantic relationships. So, when I refer to it, it's because that's
where you've
where a
done a
lot
lot
of
of
my
learning.
growth.
Yeah.
Because you see, when you're in an intimate relationship with yourself, you're able to see yourself through someone else's eyes.
Other people are just mirrors. They're just mirroring what's going on within your consciousness.
And when it's someone you're sleeping with, eating with, it's a constant reflection.
Ooh, yeah.
So I've been able to question a lot of the stories I tell myself from being in a relationship with someone. Because sometimes my partner will do something and immediately I will develop a story in my head. You did this because of this and this. And my core wounding in life is I have a mother wound of rejection. And because of this wounding, I reject people before they get a chance to reject me. So I'm the type of person to walk out of a relationship. Immediately, even if I'm sleeping and I imagine there could be some disrespect.
I'm out. Miss me.
I am out. Actually, this is the first time I've stayed. I'm 7 years now in my marriage, and this is the first time I've been able to stay with someone for this long. So when my partner does something sometimes, I see it as rejection. The story I tell myself,
you tell yourself,
because
yeah.
of my wounding
Yes.
is this is rejection. This is how, and my mind will create a story and run along with it.
A whole movie.
Yes. So somatic experiencing takes you away from the mind and into the body.
Yeah.
Soma, the
Yes.
body. Because the body never lies. The body is always speaking the truth. And why such a huge fan of the body, the physical body, is because it's been there since the beginning of this current lifetime. Since you were conceived in your mother's womb.
You didn't have thoughts at the time.
Yes. The cells, they were there receiving, and that's how you can become traumatized, because your mother was traumatized when she was pregnant with you.
Yes.
So this body, these cells, they've just been receiving information from the environment and even from within this entire time. So this is an archive of everything that you've experienced, whether you're conscious of it
or not. Yeah.
or not. So your body cannot lie. So your mind has to do what a mind has to do.
That's its job.
That's its job.
The ego has to find a story. Yeah.
So I'm not saying dishonor your mind or disregard it. Every day I have to take some time to honor my mind, my intellectual body, my mental body, for being so well developed. Because even for me to be able to digest information and all these concepts and even be able to transmit them, that's a function of my mind. But I also let it know you're not the only level of existence that I have. I also have my body.
Yeah.
So rest. It's okay to rest. That overthinking and creating stories, it's okay. Take a rest. Now I'm with my body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think like when you don't have coherence with the mind and body, that's when the mind takes over, right? Because, and the only way to build that coherence is by actually paying attention to what the body's telling you. Like being present with the emotions as they come in, sitting with them and releasing them and whatever, because then you realize that you don't need anything to explain what's happening in the body, right? And in that way, you're able to build the coherence. So even when like your partner does something, yes, like the mind is quick to go start to tell a story, but then you cut yourself. And the more you do this, the more you cut yourself before you spiral.
Oh, yes.
That has been my experience. It's like it's a practice of like, you know, being observant of what's happening, both the emotions and the thoughts. And the more you do this, the more you're able to catch yourself before the ego takes over and start to tell you like a ridiculous story that's not based out of reality, but it's based out of the wounding, right? And it's a journey.
It's a journey. Yeah, every day is a journey. That coherence you're talking about. And again, that's the same concept as your light and your shadow.
Yes.
Wholeness is constantly bringing two opposing forces together. Because sometimes the mind and the body or the heart, they are not in coherence because they are saying different things.
Different things, yeah.
So to be able to bring them together and contain them in the same form, that's where the work is. Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, the only way is through the body. It's like literally, like that has been my experience because I used to be so scared of pain. And like I said before, like I thought that was my permanent state. So I think when I built that relationship to understand this is just a temporary thing, I don't have to protect myself so much.
Yeah.
Right? I have the capacity to hold it. That is the only way that I've been able to build that coherence.
Yeah, and I love that you brought up capacity. Because we keep talking about resilience and not a lot of people understand what resilience. People confuse resilience again with suffering.
Right.
But resilience is expansion. It's what you're talking about, having the capacity to contain discomfort. Because when you're able to sit with that discomfort and to contain it, you're expanding your nervous system. Yeah? That's resilience, that you can be, you don't have to suffer for it, but for those 5 minutes, you can sit with this discomfort and give it safe passage through your body. And you know what happens when you become resilient enough to sit with discomfort? You also become resilient enough to enjoy the comfortable emotions like joy.
Yes.
Because a lot of people cannot contain joy either.
Yes.
Because joy comes around and you're always feeling like the other you're waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yeah, you're scared.
So you can't sit with your own joy.
Yes.
So by expanding your capacity to hold discomfort, you're also expanding your capacity to hold the nice and lovely emotions.
Absolutely. Because, you know, and then, so sometimes the joy doesn't even have to be brought by anything. It could just be an innate joy that you're feeling within yourself because you've unclogged yourself so much and you've opened up space for you to experience that joy.
Oh, yeah.
And so, because I definitely notice a difference between how I feel joy now with how compared to like how I felt joy before.
You're not questioning it.
Yeah, I unclogged
You're not
myself.
telling yourself a story. Yes, I'm happy now, but what about if he does this again? Am I going to? You're not interrupting.
Right.
Because you're able to contain it for longer. Yeah.
Yeah. So in your work with your clients, because this is what you do, like that doula, like a holding space for those parts of them, the old story to die, in order for them to emerge as like a newer version that's able to hold all of these things. How have you found like people's responses to, you know, because we, like you were saying earlier, like our generation, we were, the younger generation is now awakening. Our older generation, the older generation, like we were stuck for so long, but now people like are awakening. And so as you're working with people, are you finding that this is something that people are like opening up to?
Let me tell you, being a social scientist, again, I really, when I was going to uni, I felt so annoyed having to go and study a bachelor's of arts because I wanted to do nursing. But my combination of subjects, my clusters were not clustering.
Yeah.
So I was forced to do something that I did not, that was not my first choice. I wouldn't have chosen to do. But in retrospect, again, my higher self
Knew
had
that's what you needed at the
orchestrated-
time.
Yes, because my method is very scientific. My pattern recognition, which I feel like it's a trained thing because of being a social scientist.
Right.
My method, I collect a lot of data.
Right.
Like even when I'm sitting with someone, at the back of, it's not something I do consciously. I'm just trained to, first of all, know which questions to ask, to like open, to create a path into something. And then I'm always collecting data and recognizing patterns. I'm able to sift through information to see like what really matters. And one of the patterns I'm observing lately is people have woken up and people are very I'm having Christian people coming to be buried. I have a therapy where I bury people in the ground. When we talk about killing an old version of yourself.
I saw some of that. You were talking about it on X,
Yes. We dig a hole in the ground and you get in and you're covered in soil. And then I give you like a somatic experiencing session while you're under. I hold space for you as those parts of yourself that are not going to walk with you in the next part of the journey. We leave them in the soil. It's so funny that I'm getting Christians and Muslims coming for this therapy. This is not something I would have imagined 5 or 10 years ago. So I do feel like collectively, we are approaching a tipping point. You know how they say we need a critical mass, they call it, to shift things? I feel like from my experience, in my work, I feel like we are edging closer and closer to a point where, because even men, I have clients, like men who are between 50 and 60, or less wapi. Men are coming for this kind of therapies. So, we are heading there. People are awakening at a very fast, and I feel so blessed. And I am so grateful to my higher self for this current lifetime, to be able to be sitting at the front row of this transformation as it happens. Because other people might be catching it from social media, from reading books, from watching podcasts. I am sitting there with people as this happens. So for me, this is very sacred work. And I feel so honored and so grateful to be the one holding space for people as they transform.
I really love that. I really love the whole approach of like facing your darkness, because that's the that's the portal of transformation, rather than like the spiritual bypass.
The love and light.
The love and light. I've met people that talk about, like, I met a woman that was like, I don't get triggered because she's put everything that she doesn't want to see in a box. And so when something happens, she doesn't get triggered, but it's because the heart is closed. She's closed herself. I think that's the only way that you don't get triggered, is when you're operating from love and light.
You're human.
Absolutely.
You have to encounter things that trigger you. And I think people, I dislike the fact that because of what is happening collectively, you see, for someone like me, my journey has been long and drawn out. For people awakening now, it's kind of compressed. There's so much information on the internet. So there's also like very many cases of spiritual psychosis because of this type of bypassing. Not enough grounding. Because if you are meant to be a spirit, then why the hell are you in the physical form?
Existence,
So if really we are meant to anchor heaven on earth, we are conduits.
Yes.
And if you consider that we are God experiencing itself in human form.
Yes.
You're here to be human, to have a human experience.
Yeah.
So I feel that the body, again, people need to keep coming back, because even grounding is your body, the element for the physical body is the earth. So you're constantly being reminded to come back to your body, to come back to earth, and not, not be
up
so
there,
high up there, because
Yeah.
that's how people are getting into spiritual psychosis. That love and light. What about your darkness? When are you going to process it? And if we are told everything is happening inside you,
Yes.
then also hell is happening
inside of you. Yeah.
inside of you. And we as human beings on this realm, the reason we came on this planet is also to digest that hellishness within ourselves. So by avoiding it, you're not helping the collective. So the people who have been called to do shadow work, to face their own shadows, and every day the container is expanding, they are the ones who are bringing heaven
Yeah.
to earth.
Yeah.
This is the work that we've been called to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't really, like, even when you want to expand your consciousness and go up there, there's only so much you can do if you don't meet your shadows and you don't meet your darkness. I really feel like you're limiting yourself rather than like actually expanding yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Which brings me to the topic of, let me tell you when, a part of my journey when I was doing that, I went vegan. In 2017. For a whole year,
Okay.
I did not touch an animal product.
No eggs, no milk, nothing.
Even honey.
Yes. Even honey.
Even
yeah. Sometimes
honey.
you forget honey. Like you forget honey is coming
I was
from a
that
bee.
type of vegan, and I'm usually very strict. When I do something, I fully immerse myself. I want the full experience.
You're a 7.
Yes.
That's literally what a 7 is about.
I don't put my toe in the water to test. I go deep inside. So I was vegan for a whole year, and I remember I had become so light, and my practice was so love and light. Avoiding things that might trigger me, avoiding people that feel uncomfortable for my system. I was living in heaven for a whole year. And even my physical body, when I used to meditate, I would feel like I was transcending the physical form. And even when I would be walking, I'd be feeling like physically I lost a lot of weight, but I was also feeling a lightness that is not physical, almost like I could disappear into the clouds.
Oh, interesting.
And that's when I realized we need meat as human beings. There's a reason we evolved to become omnivores, because flesh is very grounding, because it has to do with the body.
That's interesting. That's a very interesting perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the reason actually I wasn't eating meat is because, the pain and the suffering of animals.
Yeah.
Like I was, when you're in your awakening and you don't want to harm other life forms, even ants on the road, you're very...
That's not practical.
It's not.
Like when you're walking, you're stepping on
gives
ants.
you psychosis. So a practice, I am always endeavoring to find practical things to do, like in my journey, And one of the most practical things that I do when I eat meat is I speak something over my food.
Yes.
Because I'm looking for nutrition.
Yes.
So I separate the suffering of the animal, the experiences, any pain they might have felt. I honor it, and I thank the animal for giving me nutrition. So I'm not eating to enjoy the suffering. It's not a sport for me. It's simply nutrition.
So it's like how Islam, like they have to do, like they eat halal, like meat. Yeah. Because they honor the suffering that
by
the
my
animal might have
higher
gone through.
self.
Yeah.
My Islam leg of the journey is what taught me to actually honor other life forms, even though you're consuming them. Yeah.
Oh, I really love that
Yeah.
because it's like it's one thing to avoid things, and so for me, I don't like the black and white as well of things. You know, there are people that even say that like eating onion and garlic, like in some practices, that it prevents you from like expanding your consciousness and whatever. But I'm like, it's all about balance because you're in this human existence. So, and like you said, you have personal power.
Yes.
Right, to choose and you know, pick and choose like what
Works for you.
resonates with you and works with you, and I think that's more important than, you know, just following whatever that you're seeing out there, you know, that this is the best thing.
And you see that I am a huge fan of people developing their own practice.
Yes.
Even when I'm teaching my clients, I teach from my own perspective. I like teaching with myself as an example because I love talking about myself. But I make sure to tell people, I'm not telling you to do what I'm doing. Maybe give you some inspiration for you to craft your own path. Because I believe we should have, how many people are we in the world? 8 billion by now?
Yeah, by now, yeah.
There should be 8 billion religions in the world because everybody should be able to craft, not to say we cannot borrow from each other, but your practice should be really unique to you because what resonates for you might not necessarily resonate for me. That does not mean it's wrong. If it's for your system and it's not for mine, it doesn't mean that it's not coherent.
Yeah, absolutely. Because again, like you were saying earlier, you are God, universe experiencing itself through you, right? So it's like it wants to experience itself through you. So you're a unique individual with unique things that work with you that might not work with me.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I feel like we're coming closer to the end of time.
Sadly.
But I mean, there's always we'll do a part
Can
two.
we do this again?
Yes, absolutely. I really love talking to you because I want to dive into the model that you use, which you call the bubbles of oxygen. I actually want to like specifically talk about that and how
bubbles of oxygen.
Yes, I really love that. So
for me, it's an actual thing. It's not an abstract thought that came to me to use bubbles. It's an experience I had.
Based on your experience?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have drowned twice.
That's what I read. Yeah.
I have had to, well, they call it near drowning trauma because if I had actually drowned, I'd be dead.
You wouldn't be here, yeah.
But yeah, and with drowning, there's a death that happens. It's a near-death experience, actually.
Because at some point I'm feeling like you're resisting so much and then you have to let go.
You have to, and always,
right?
For people who've experienced this, they'll tell you there's a point where you just give in, and then it becomes very pleasant when you surrender, such that when you're pulled out of the water, you start fighting because you want to go back to that pleasant. Dying
surrender
is very pleasant, I think.
Yes, I've heard.
Because even physiologically, when you're dying, like when you perceive, let's say a lion came in here and wants to eat you, because your body is so intelligent, your brain will signal your hormonal system to produce serotonin, happiness hormones to make your experience easier because your body knows you can't run away from a lion. It's going to eat you.
Just give up.
So I do believe that dying could be a pleasant experience. So these two experiences I had, I think, one, again, I was 9. And the other one, I don't quite recall at which age it was. But now the funny thing, I went through life not remembering these experiences. I think my mind blocked me. It was too heavy on my body. My mind blocked it from me. And then last year when I went back to school to study somatic experiencing, I'm there sitting in class and the teacher says drowning and my body goes into a state.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if it was, I don't know if it was a panic attack, but I remember not being able to see I remember people surrounding me and someone stepping on my foot to ground me. I became like totally activated. So I was given a session by an expert of somatic experiencing. She's known as Dada Efu. She's the one teaching us. So she used me in class as a demo on how to conduct a session with a drowning client. So I'm sitting there and the entire experience comes back to mind. And again, the higher self orchestrating. I don't think I had the tools before to heal my drowning trauma until that moment when I was in that class. So she took me through, in somatic experiencing, there's something known as titration, where you don't dive into the deep end of trauma, but rather you play
I
around.
know what you're talking about.
Yes, you play around the edges and you keep edging and edging.
You keep expanding.
As you build resilience in the system. So she was able to take, that one, because drowning is a split second. One moment you're on top, the other moment you're at the bottom. So she was able to expand that 30 seconds of drowning into like a whole hour session. Yeah? So taking like, okay, before you dived in, what is happening? And then I recall who I saw, the lifeguard, the people playing. And then as you enter the water, what's the temperature of the water? And I could feel it.
Oh my gosh.
In my body. I could feel my body sinking. And I could feel the water. I was feeling like waves. Like she took me back to the moment that it happened. And I could taste the chlorine. And I could feel.
The body's so intelligent.
I could feel. So I was like reliving that experience, but now in a safe adult body. So during this experience, when she was taking me through it, I could see the bubbles. I could see myself rising from the bottom of the pool as I was rescued. So for me, it's not something abstract. And in these bubbles, I could see how have I survived so long as such a traumatized person, and my body never gave in or collapsed. So I could see all these bubbles that have been supporting me my entire life.
Yeah.
And I do feel that has been the theme of my life.
Yeah.
Dying, I'm constantly, and at some point it used to be so frustrating when I was younger, because it felt like I can't keep one thing for long. I'm always ending relationships, losing jobs, in and out of situations, but that has become the theme of my life transformation. The bubbles are an actual experience.
Yeah.
It's me getting from the bottom of the pool and rising again. And that theme of my life, that transformation, my entire life as a Scorpio is about
death
transformation.
And like a true Scorpio.
I'm literally not the same person I was yesterday.
Yeah,
So,
you're constantly dying.
And now I have been able to tie this thing about myself into the work I came here to do.
Yeah.
To be able to constantly transform. It means I came here to hold space, because not everyone is a Scorpio. Not everybody needs to transform every day. But because I've done it so many times, I have died so many times, and yet I'm still here. So it's easy for me to hold space for my clients, and also to encourage them that there's life after the dark night of the soul. There's life. And it's even better each time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so that's what we'll pick up next time when we have this conversation. But thank you so much. This has been wonderful. I knew, I knew that's how it was going to go. Not like exactly like I imagined how the conversation was going to go, but like following you on X and then now seeing you on TikTok, there's so much that I resonate with, especially the shadow work part, especially because that's what I've been practicing lately. I resonate so deeply. And like whenever I read the words, when it comes to shadow work, there's this guy that I follow, Xavier. He's on Instagram, but he's like a shadow work as well. He talks about the demons, the darkness, like facing all of that. Whenever it comes to that subject, I don't know why, like I get teary every single time somebody's working through, because you know, not a lot of people are like willing to see those parts of themselves. So I definitely knew this was going to be a lovely conversation. Thank you so much for coming to the Art of Being podcast. We shall do this again.
Yes, we must.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we must. Yeah.
Yes.
So if people want to work with you, how can they find you? How can they get in touch with you so that you can hold space for their darkness and for the parts of them that they don't want to look at and make them feel safe facing themselves? How can they find you?
I think at the bottom of this recording,
I'm going to put
you're going to put my number.
Yes.
So that
and your socials
don't
as well.
call me, WhatsApp me, and then my socials.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have a website as well?
Not yet, but I'm planning to. My work is
and I feel
expanding.
like if you're a spiritual girly, you must know Nyambura. Like if you're a spiritual girly and you're on X, I would be surprised if you haven't come across you.
Nyambura Gobela.
Yeah, because I feel like you're that person who's like a resource for people. Like you serve so well. Like you're always willing to, provide people like with resources or like your words and whatever. I feel like they've been healing, whether you know it or not.
Oh, that is so great to hear. I feel so seen.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, of
Thank
course.
you. That's so encouraging to hear, honestly.
Yeah. So if you've seen Nyambura but you haven't worked with her, you didn't know like what she does, and you want to work with her, you're ready to do that inner work. I'm gonna put her information in the description box. If you're listening to us on Apple and Spotify, rate this podcast, give us feedback. If there are things that we didn't touch on and you want us to come back and have a conversation about, definitely get back to me. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a like, leave comments. If there's anything you want us to talk about, please let us know. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. And we will see you next time on the Art of Being podcast.
But before we leave,
Yeah.
since we started by creating a container.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, once more, just feeling inside, what are we arriving into this moment with? Yeah, thanking our minds and our bodies for holding us as we did this beautiful work. And also maybe orienting a bit to the space once more. Yeah, thanking the equipment.
Thank you,
For
Comment.
supporting us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The plant life.
The plant life.
Yeah, for adding color and
Yes.
life to the space.
Yeah.
The colors, the textures.
Thank you for your presence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And thank you too for having me.
I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I do wish you the very, very best.
Yeah.
You're doing such amazing work.
You too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so thank you for giving us a platform
Yes.
to talk about what we couldn't talk about 10, 15 years ago.
Yes.
I love it for us.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We hope today's conversation resonated with you, brought you a sense of clarity, and maybe even challenged you to reflect further on your healing and spiritual journey.
If it touched something in you, would be so grateful if you left us a 5-star rating on Apple or Spotify. And if you're on YouTube, share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your reflections or suggestions for future topics.
You can find our socials and email in the episode description. We always love hearing from you. Until next time, take gentle care of your soul, mind, and body.